5 minutes before showtime, live with you here on this Tuesday. There popped up some breaking news on Twitter, and I'm going to give it to you here to start the show. I didn't know that's what exactly we'd be talking about at the start of the show, about Mississippi State football, but there it is. I'll give you the news coming up. What up, everybody? Welcome in. I'm Matt in the Farm Bureau studio. Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance across the great state of Mississippi and all 82 counties. Your hometown heroes are your local Farm Bureau Insurance agents. I'm Matt. JB is here. JB, beautiful morning out at the golf course, I hear.
Man, I tell you what, watching that sun come up and that little bit of fog rise, it's a, as my good friend Bill Maloney sings, it is a resplendent morning.
That's it. So I'm here, JB's here, we're all in a good mood. Hope you are too. Most importantly, you are here. If you're just tuning in here, we're live with you on this Tuesday in the studio, so y'all can comment, be a part of the show, call, all that kind of stuff. So lots of ways for you to be a part of the show. Text me on the Country Pleasing text line. This is one of my new Country Pleasing hats. You know, if you can see that on the live stream, it's got a tan or khaki mesh back. It says Country Pleasing on the back, and on the front, kind of a faded blue with a the red Country Pleasing hog logo. Yeah, y'all text me. Oh, by the way, too, look at this. JB, they're
nice shirt, man.
Oh, thank you. That's my dress shirt for tonight.
Yeah,
they're making these hats now. You see the band on the inside that goes around your head? It says Comfy Fit.
Yeah.
It's kind of stretchy.
Yeah. Feels good on that head, huh?
Yes. It's not scratchy at all. You don't have a bald head, so it's not scratchy. And,
that's awesome.
And I put it on, so it's got the thing on the back that's one size fits all, but it's a little stretchy kind of material. You talk about a comfortable
hat. That's a cool looking hat.
Well, and comfortable. Man. That's the big thing now. You know, you get to my age, JB, you really don't care what it looks like. That's why our whole life we've seen...
Yeah, but I don't want a trucker hat, man. I don't want one of them things that stick up like a cowboy
with
hat.
The point on the top?
Oh, Lord, no.
But see, that's the thing about it. I'm
that
okay
hat
with
looks
that.
Comfortable. That hat... Yeah, but I equate those large, short bill, tall front hats just to be very uncomfortable.
Yeah. Like the ones that when we were little bitty T-ball and...
Oh, yeah.
You know, and Dixie Youth Baseball when I was a little kid, that's the kind they gave us for our team hats. It would stick way up and had the big foam thing on the front. They like ironed on the logo on your hat,
exactly.
You know?
Yeah, those, no. Can't go back to that.
After about
that'd be like going back to those tight basketball shorts.
Yeah, right. We're not going back to that.
No.
If we do, I'm completely out. College, high school, everything, I'm out.
That's exactly right, man.
I much prefer the Fab Five Michigan 1990, what are we talking about, 95?
Yeah, that's around that age.
93, 94, 95, the Fab Five Michigan shorts where, like...
They were the first.
Chris Webber had them down below his knees, you know. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But don't give me the shorty shorts that, frankly, some of our all-time greats, like Larry Bird, wore at Indiana State.
Like I wore in JUCO.
Like you wore in JUCO. We don't want any of that.
No.
Get that out of here. All right. So, but this is a great hat. Thank you, Country Pleasing Sausage. Country Pleasing text line 885-ESPN 885-3776. Call me on the Davini phone, Davini Equipment in Madison and in Jackson. Your Kubota dealer, the oldest Kubota dealer in the U.S. That means they've been doing it better, longer than anyone else. That's at Davini. So the Davini phone is 995-1059. Hit me up there. 995-1059. Also, all of your comments coming on the live stream. What's up, Sven and Chewmeister, David, Cody, better known as Boudreaux, Myron, JB, saying hey to everybody on the stream. So hi, everyone. Coming to your comments. First, though, we have breaking news. All right, the first place that I saw it was from Matt Zenitz, AL.com. Mississippi State quarterback wide receiver Garrett Schrader has entered the transfer portal. Everybody got that? He's entered the transfer portal. I don't think it's surprising at all. Matter of fact, I know that it's not. It's just, at this point, you get to the open date, and now it's being confirmed by other media. Joel Coleman is confirming it. He says, I have confirmed that Mississippi State's Garrett Schrader has indeed entered the transfer portal, as first mentioned by Matt Zenitz. If y'all want to see the original tweet, at mzenitz, writes over there at AL.com. So he's got.
That'll give him. He only played 4 games. If I don't even know if he played in all 4 this season.
Well,
if
and
you
this
don't
year
play
it
in more
doesn't
than
matter.
4, that's right. So all
mean,
bets are off, I guess, when it comes to those rules. That still remains to be seen. But if it wasn't a COVID year, because he hadn't played in more than 4 games, he would still get this year back.
Yeah, so he's got like loads of eligibility left. And, because this year is not, as I understand it, JB, this year isn't counting against anyone.
Yeah.
Nobody. This is a free year for every single player. Side note, it's why I think it's so silly that the NCAA was still holding people out anyway. Like the guy who transferred to Tennessee, I'm trying to think of his name, Cade Mays, big lineman.
The guy from Georgia, yeah.
Yeah, and, like they were holding that. Oh, well, they haven't cleared him yet. Why? Well, who cares? Play him anyway. My thing is, if you had a player who had transferred in, who was sitting there waiting for some type of approval to play this year from the NCAA, why wouldn't the school and the coach just go ahead and play him? Because you couldn't possibly litigate this thing and go and do it successfully on the NCAA behalf, because this year is free for everyone. It counts against no one's eligibility. It wouldn't make any sense. But anyway, that's a side note. On this note, so let's look at it. Garrett Schrader was a true freshman last year, played in enough games that it would not qualify as a redshirt. So last year counted against his eligibility. That's 1 year off of, eligibility-wise. That's 1 year off of it. But this is a free year for everyone. Plus, he still holds a red shirt in his hand that has not been burned or used in any kind of way. Meaning,
so basically, he's got 4 years at the least, possibly 5, possibly a whole college career. He could be 26, and still be playing college football.
Well, and that's right, as could a whole lot of guys, right? Because of this free year, So they're going to we're going to look up in 5 years from now, JB. And there's going to be a whole host of 24 and 25-year-old seniors in college football throughout the whole sport everywhere. And I don't know how they're going to manage all that. But yeah, so he's basically got a redshirt year left somewhere if he wanted to use that, which would be he could go somewhere and play in 4 games and it still qualify as that quote-unquote redshirt year, right? And then beyond that, still 3 more full years of eligibility. So, look.
So you don't find this is a little bit of a shocker?
Okay, so that's a good question. No, I'm not necessarily surprised at all. I mean, he was one of the reasons he went to State was Joe Moorhead, obviously, who had recruited him while he was at Penn State. But the other big reason is he's going to be a quarterback. They're going to sign – Moorhead was going to sign him to be a quarterback, and sure enough, he was under Moorhead.
And he was recruited at North Carolina correctly as a wide receiver.
And other places. Look, Alabama, listen to this sounds crazy. Alabama was hot and heavy after him as potentially coming in to be a hybrid receiver tight end type of guy, would grow into that.
Like a Jimmy Graham type person.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's big programs were sniffing around at the receiver tight end possibility for him.
Wow.
Because he's so tall and he runs so fast. He's legitimate 6'4.5" to 6'5", and he's legitimate 4'5" guy in a 40. Run off and leave people. So he's a very, very good athlete. But if he wants to be a quarterback, you got to seek that out with this new this is why I'm getting at, JB. This new system coming in on top of him, immediately he's surpassed by a true freshman, right, in Will Rogers. That moves him to a new position. Therefore, I'm not surprised. The timing.
And
might
when
be
he
a
made
little
that
bit
move, the timing could be odd. But I mean, the 4 games in and the bye week, like you mentioned earlier. But as we talked about, a number of weeks ago when this kind of first surfaced that they had moved him, you and I said, well, he could be like a Matt Jones, the guy from Arkansas that went on and had a pretty decent NFL career.
Yes. Right.
So, I just don't know. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go to Oregon, even though it's halfway across the country.
Right. Well, and look, Joe Moorhead was always really high on Schrader. He very confidently tell you, hey, whatever it is, the kid has it. I know from a toughness standpoint, I don't have to say it. Everybody who watched him play knows that. He also had that, little bit of moxie to him that allowed him to make some great plays when they had to have it. That fourth down conversion throw in the Egg Bowl last year that led to a score that was ultimately the winning score. I say ultimately because it should have just been what was tied later on, but it wasn't. But, I thought showed arm strength, and the kid can really spin it. He's not your prototypical pocket passer in that he seats the ball up high and it just comes out in this beautiful throwing motion. I mean, he winds it back, and he's like a catcher coming out of the blocks to throw somebody out at second base sometimes. But he can really let it rip. So there's plenty of ability there. And I just think that, you're looking at someone who, if he's
virtually he is your size.
Yeah.
And he runs a 4.3, 4.4.
Well, he's no 4.3. I mean, and he may go
Somebody
out.
Somebody said he clocked it at like a 4.38 or something.
Nah, that's hand time stuff. That's not going to be legit. He's not going to.
That's not the laser.
No, he's not going to go out there on a laser like at the combine and be 4.3. I mean, he's legitimately 4.5.
Okay.
He's about like
picking up, putting down for somebody as big as you are.
He's about like Fitzgerald was before the injury. I was a non-believer that injury was going to slow him down. Before the injury, Fitzgerald at 230 pounds, literally, was every bit of he was legitimately a 4.5 guy every time. And then after the injury, he kind of lost just a little bit of that top-end step, which kind of separated him, Yeah. And that happens some. But that's kind of where Schrader is. So, and they were really high on him. So for him to play quarterback, he's got to go somewhere. If that's what he's going to do, he's got to go to a place that is one of two things, and it's obviously either a shotgun zone read spread type offense where, quarterback is given the opportunity to run the ball a good bit, reading it, but also throw off of that. Or go to a place that's running pro-style stuff. I'm serious. Where they put them under center and, you're reversing out handoff, but you're a lot of play action throws because he's got the big arm, but then mix in some run stuff and roll him out of the pocket. And, there's some teams doing that. Like a Texas A&M type of offense, that kind of stuff.
And what you described there, to me, seems like the main reason Costello's having a difficult time. Mm-hmm. Because he came from that pro set style at Stanford where, you're under center, you stand up, you hand off, or you just turn it, pocket passer.
Yeah.
And I think that's why he's having a hard time making the adjustments. He can't make the reads on the fly like you need to.
Sure. There's a lot of comments, JB, and I'm going to bring up an idea to you and to everybody and just see where it goes.
All right, pal.
All right. There's a lot of comments right now to start us off on the Country Pleasin' Sausage text line, 885-ESPN, 601-885-ESPN. Grumpy first up says, this is different. He says, Matt, had life-changing business deal go down yesterday and could not listen to the program. It's all good. Praise our Lord. On the MSU game, he said, my only comfort was Will Rogers. Good decision-making on his touchdown drive. Looks good for the future. P.S. had a great Friday football night with MRA and Jackson Academy victories. That's from Grumpy. Well, you've had a heck of a run. Other than the state loss, you still were positive about Will Rogers, a big-time business deal, and two high school teams you love both won. Grumpy, hats off to you, and appreciate you starting us off. On the Garrett Schrader transfer news, somebody texted and said, I hate that so bad. True Maroon was giving us the heads up as well. Saw that from Matt Zenitz. Thanks on the Schrader entering the transfer portal news. Scott says Plumlee needs to join Schrader. If he couldn't get in the game against Arkansas, he won't see it at all, meaning see the field at all. The thing about Plumlee is, though, he is a dual sport guy, and I don't know, some people may believe he's baseball first anyway, and if that's the case, he might want to stay at Ole Miss and play baseball. So that situation is a little different. I'm not real sure or certain, if we're going apples to apples right there. Unnamed texter said, if everyone comes back next year, how will they work it out with a full freshman recruiting class? The only way they do that is they allow teams to, they relax their overall roster limit. You would have to relax the limits on scholarship players, all because of a worldwide pandemic, and I think that gives them plenty of excuse to do that. Pookie says they should have been lining him up. Wait a minute, let me go back to the first one. You said, hopefully I'm not too late. Please don't let Sven pick. Oh, that was last week. Okay. Pookie did say should have been lining him up in the Wildcat on short yardage runs, short yardage plays. Just, to be debated, wasn't getting that opportunity for sure. White Denzel says, does Dan Mullen go after Schrader? I don't know. I will say this, Denzel, the kid that they signed, that Mullen and them signed, Emory Jones, since he got there, the quarterback, is kind of in that dual threat mold, right? Like he can really run. The two that he's been coaching, Felipe Franks and now Trask, who I believe both were there when he got there, are two guys who throw the ball a lot, who aren't runners, who he has coached into big-time passing offenses. They're throwing it all over the field. So would he go after him? Here's the other thing. Whether it's a fit or not, just remember, and I told you this, nothing in the Dan Mullen history has given us any indication that he has any interest in going after transfer quarterbacks. He's never gotten one. He's never chased it. He's never seemed interested. He never really pursued it. He hadn't done it at State. He hadn't done it at Florida. So that comes up a lot when people become available because they know he sort of has been a miracle worker with anybody he's coached at that position. But he doesn't go after transfers. He just doesn't do it. If he was the kind of coach who was going to do it, they'd have already done that at Florida. So I just doubt it, okay? And then one more here, country pleasing text, just for now, real quick. Unnamed texter says Shea Patterson went to a pro-style offense at Michigan. I don't think that will work for the NFL. It definitely will work for the NFL. It's just a matter of do you make it work. Lots of comments on the live stream. Sheila says, I hate to see the beard go. He could get those first downs even if he had to fly. He almost got one in the air. He said, she says, I sure wish we had gotten to show his talent more. BMAC says Mullen would make an exception for Schrader. He might. I don't know. It just depends on where Schrader wants to be. Is it closer to home? Is it stay in the SEC? And that leads me to this question, y'all. 2 weeks ago, the SEC basically opened up their restrictions on intra-conference transfers. I believe that's the right way to say it. In other words, a transfer from one school in the SEC to another school in the SEC. They've had a stipulation that would force people to sit out if you did that, if you went from one SEC school to another. That was a conference rule, kind of agreed upon by all the teams and all this. But in this environment, they lifted that. Didn't I remember reading that 2 weeks ago? So let's just go, okay, well, now everything's on the table. Now everything is on the table. Is there an SEC school or two that Schrader would be highly interested in going and try to be their quarterback, and that interest would be reciprocated right now? Who is it? Seriously. Who is it? All right, we got 1 minute before the music starts. I just want to, let's spur some thought, okay? Let's spur some thought, and let's just mention a team, and you think about their offense and quarterback situation. Georgia. The Georgia Bulldogs. What do you think about that one, JB? Maybe on the phone. Think about that. Closer to home for him. He's from North Carolina. They tried one transfer. He left. They tried another. He's hurt. Something's up. And the thing that kind of held him back against Alabama to a degree was didn't have a big SEC caliber athlete at that position. Coached by a Todd Monken who wants a dual threat guy if he can have it. What about Georgia? All right, what about Tennessee? Blake brings up Tennessee on the live stream. Closer to home? Yep. Wide open? Yep. Now, Chaney, the coach there, I don't know about, in terms of the philosophy and how it absolutely would fit a guy like Schrader. But this is what I know. You basically have two types of offensive coaches out here in college football. The Mike Leaches, who have a system and you're just going to fit the system or you don't. And then everybody else, the Dan Mullins, who don't really have a system and just coach around whoever they have. The system will fit the player. I don't know everything I know. As my dad would say, I don't understand all I know about that. But it seems to me, JB, there may be a lot of options for that kid.
Oh, yeah. And you got to think the other thing, too, man. If he doesn't want to play receiver, he wants to play quarterback. Let him go do it.
Absolutely.
Get a chance one time, man.
Absolutely. All right, we'll go to Lynn on the phone. We come back and get to more of your comments. I'm Matt, just getting started on a Tuesday in the Farm Bureau studio. Stick around.
Get a great deal on Kubota utility tractors. Our powerful
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with autopay and paperless billing. Even without autopay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country Pleasin' Sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan. Put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasin' Sausage, countrypleasin.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from it. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasin', please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much, and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to.
Show on 105.9 The Zone.
All right, back with you. We're just getting started really here as we had breaking news to start today's show on this Tuesday that Garrett, Schrader, Mississippi State, all freshman player last year, came into his sophomore year with a new coach, new system, moved to wide receiver, is transfer. He's entering the transfer portal. I guess, again, I have to be careful. I have to remind myself that players have entered the transfer portal and not left. So there's that 1%, opportunity they might not. I mean, generally entering the portal does mean you will ultimately transfer. Just a matter of when and to whom. But it being confirmed by media, he's in there. Okay, and they do that after 4 games and during an open date headed into Alabama. My man RLD on the live stream said he just didn't want any of Alabama in their next game in 2 weeks. Well, maybe. I don't know, but I think there's other reasonings for that also. Lynn is hanging on the Divini Equipment phone line and has been for a little bit. Lynn, I appreciate you being patient. Thanks for calling, man. Schrader's in the portal. What do you think?
How about it, man? I hate it. I like the kid, but we're talking about where he might go. Have we forgot where Joe Moorhead went? Because that's who got him startful anyway.
Yeah, that's right. And he's all the way out there at Oregon, and there's no question that he could play for Joe in that offense out there.
They're replacing a quarterback anyway. So that's just a thought. But, Matt, it's a parody account, I think, but there's this guy on Twitter called Lieutenant Schrader, and they put out just the funniest tweets in the world. I don't think it's Garrett by any stretch. I've been told it wasn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it is really funny stuff. And I'm gonna hate to see him go. I wish that kid all the best in the world. He plays football the right way. He plays hard-nosed ball. But I think he could end up at Oregon.
Yeah, it definitely wouldn't. That wouldn't be a surprise either, would it, Lynn? If that's where he wound up.
It wouldn't to me. But great show, man. I'm gonna keep listening, driving down the road. We'll holler at you another day.
Yeah, appreciate it, Lynn. Hail State. Be safe behind the wheel. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, that parody account, I followed it for a while. Pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's probably a bootleg version of the old Captain Luck, Andrew Luck's parody account.
Right.
I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I am familiar. Yeah.
Great stuff.
Because
Phone's ringing off the hook, man.
Oh, good. Okay. All right. Back at it. Well, so I brought up the idea, the intra-conference thing, just so that we're all aware of what the possibilities are. Okay. With a guy like Garrett Schrader. Y'all help me out. Was Schrader the all-freshman quarterback last year in the SEC, or was that someone else? They do an all-freshman team. Didn't he get the all-freshman quarterback deal, or did somebody else get that? And if somebody else got it, who would it have been? Anyway, I don't know. I can always look that up. You can too, I guess. We could look it up. Here's what I want you to know, though. Okay, I mentioned intra-conference transferring in the SEC. Always frowned upon, and then there was a rule that you could only do it, but you had to sit out if you did, from one SEC school to the other. This came out on September the 30th. Okay, so less than a month ago. We're talking, 3 weeks ago. The SEC altered its rules to allow immediate eligibility for intra-conference transfers within the SEC in light of the coronavirus pandemic by approving waivers for some players who transferred within the league. The conference has announced that on Wednesday, September 29th or 30th, somewhere in there. Previously, the SEC had mandated that players transferring within the league had to sit out a year before they were eligible. Before that change, late September, the previous time that the SEC adjusted that SEC to SEC transfer rule was in 2018. It created two exceptions, one for graduate transfers, another one for players on teams that were facing NCAA postseason bans. Is it all coming together? I'm remembering it now too. Remember there was this, what was it? There was this player from Georgia who had graduated at Georgia. I think it was a defensive back. And he left Georgia and transferred to Alabama. Right? Isn't that what happened, or was it vice versa? It involved Georgia and Alabama, the initial one that kind of sparked this whole thing. And then they had the rule that it's changed in 2018 that involved postseason bans, right? Because what happened? Who was it? Was it Van Jefferson? Was that his name? The receiver from Ole Miss? Boom, they get a postseason ban. He goes to Florida, immediately eligible. All right? So they adjusted it then. Well, now during the pandemic, it's adjusted again. Right now. I'm just saying, we go, the timing. You play 4 games, they move you to a new position, and you play 4 games at receiver with 1 reception and some tackles on special teams. You get into the open date before Alabama, with 2 weeks before Alabama, and now he's in the portal. Well, 3 weeks ago, the SEC said you can go from one SEC school to the other because of the pandemic. So if you're going to go from one to the other, you might as well get in the portal now, right? I'm just saying. So it was the other way. Maurice Smith, defensive back, transferred from Bama to Georgia. He was following Kirby Smart there. That's what it was. And that initially sparked this whole thing. All right, Davini Equipment phone line. Rooster hanging on. What's up, Rooster?
Hey, Matt.
Hey.
Yeah, I guess snuff got snuffed out, huh?
It's snuff. And see, I was totally not on the same page with you yesterday, and now I am. I get it now. Okay.
Well, I wish him luck, and I can't blame him. But listen, can he play this year? Is he eligible?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're saying if he were to immediately go to another team. No, I don't. Yeah. I don't think you can go right now to a new team and immediately suit up for them. I think it's got to be 1 year to the next.
Well, there's one place he can go, because what about those schools that aren't playing football?
What
they
about
haven't started yet?
Yeah, but let's
Why
see.
Why couldn't he play for them?
Okay, so like the Big Ten starts this week. When does the Pac-12 start?
No, I'm talking about Neon Dion, Jackson State.
Oh, Jackson
football.
State. Yeah. Well, hey, yeah, I guess he could. He could play in the spring.
Yeah.
And hey, how about this? With all the open transfer rules now because of the pandemic, could a guy like Schrader go play football in the spring for Jackson State, transfer out, and play for a new team in the fall?
Yeah, that would be great. But listen, what I really called about is country pleasing sausage. I thought, I'm listening to Feinbaum, and it's ESPN, and they're hawking Johnsonville sausage. I go, wait a minute,
Well, you just
this is a conflict of interest.
No, it's not. You just listened to the wrong show.
But listen,
and eating the wrong sausage.
I still haven't had the sausage. You can only, everywhere I go at Kroger's, you can only get it in the links. They don't have those maple patties you're talking about.
Well, they're not patties. I've never had any patties. I've always just had the link. But you ought to try.
Everything is a link. Yeah, I like the whatever. But I'm going to try some of those Johnsonville now. It's ESPN. That's what it says.
Yeah.
Feinbaum show.
This is what I would tell you,
Be
Rooster.
Be careful what you eat, man.
Well, what I would tell you, Rooster, is, be careful just doing everything ESPN tells you ought to do.
Well, yeah.
And in fact, how about this, Rooster? You can go, unlike Johnsonville, you can go not far from where you are right now on Highway 49 to Country Meat Packers and look the people in the eye who are actually making country pleasing sausage and shipping it out, who started the company. Walk right in the door at Country Meat Packers and say hi to Henry, the man who started the whole thing and is responsible for the whole thing.
I've done that twice. They didn't have the patties.
Well,
they only had the link.
I mean, patties or links. Are you going to eat it or what? Chew it up, and once you chew it up, what difference does it make if it's a patty or a link? Get you some links.
Because I don't have any teeth.
Get you some.
I don't have any teeth.
Well, that's not their fault. Get you some links.
No, but that's why I like the patty.
Well, get you some links and mash it up.
Puree machines.
Get you some links, mash it up, put it in a blender, make a patty, and fry the sucker and zip it.
Well, I bet you next time I go, they'll have the patty. I bet you save some for me.
All right. Thanks.
But anyway, good luck. Good luck to Garrett Schrader wherever he winds up.
Thank you, man.
I can't blame him. He's too good an athlete to be sitting on the bench. Yeah. And I'm at Leach Beach, but still, he should have been playing.
Well, Rooster, he's going somewhere, and he will be playing. You're right. Athletes like that size and that speed don't come along too often, so he'll be playing somewhere. Hey,
the one that's more surprising, though, is Rice Pudding. How come Rice Pudding ain't playing?
Rice Pudding.
That really makes no sense.
Hold on, Rice Pudding.
Rice Pudding. You don't know who Rice Pudding is?
John Rice Plumlee?
Well,
yes.
Lord have mercy, Rooster. Hey, I'll see you later, man.
God bless.
I mean, we take one word in the middle of the man's name and try to make a food product out of it. Rice pudding. I thought he was talking about other stuff he had to eat because he doesn't have any teeth. The man just called me and said he didn't eat country pleasing because they didn't make a patty because he has no teeth to eat the other kind with.
He's a very interesting man. He's kind of like that old Kinks song.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about that young man that just seems like he's been around for a long time.
Oh, he's interesting, all right. A lot of these words have 2 or 3 different definitions, JB.
Yeah?
Look that one up. Find me an alternate definition of interesting.
I can do that, man. I'll go to my thesaurus.
While you're at it, look up toothless. All right, just getting started with y'all. I'm Matt in the Farm Bureau studio. Stick around.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country pleasing sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan, put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasin' Sausage, countrypleasin.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from them. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasin', please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get.
All right, back with you. Farm Bureau Studio, Farm Bureau. Go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance across the great state of Mississippi. Hometown heroes, that's your local Farm Bureau insurance agent. Available to you in all 82 counties here in our great state. Nancy, yes, you're right. Nancy said on the live stream, last year's all-freshman quarterback, or the all-freshman team quarterback in the SEC would have been Bo Nix at Auburn. That sounds about right. Big wins, of course, led Auburn to a win over Alabama in the Iron Bowl. Yeah, so wouldn't it be Bo Nix? I think it would have. Beat Oregon at the beginning of the year. Yeah. All right, Country Pleasin' text line, 885-ESPN. ResDog says a mobile quarterback that is also accurate would dominate in the air raid, would it not? Hey, put the headset on us right here. Yes. You get a guy who's deadly accurate from the pocket who can also fly, who can do both. Now, those are few and far between, and it's hard to be both, one or the other. But, yes, it would be deadly. Ready Teddy says, would Georgia love to have Plumlee now? Would they? Yeah, he initially was committed to them. I don't know that it was a quarterback thing, though. For sure.
No, he wanted to play baseball too, and they weren't going to let him play baseball.
Why on earth would they not let him play baseball?
I don't know, but I remember that just being part of reading all that whole scene, because I was thinking the same thing.
We got a lot of funny comments on here about Rooster, who also happens to be Ponto, who says he needs sausage in a patty because he has no teeth. If you can figure out the difference between eating sausage as a patty versus sausage as a link, and there's for some reason you can eat one without teeth and you can't the other, y'all let me know, because none of that made any sense. But we got a lot of comments on that too, and I'll get to some of them. But right now, I just want to say hello real quick. Tip of the cap to the homecoming queen who is in the studio here in the Farm Bureau studio. Hello.
Man,
Hello.
Little Beauty never heard anything.
Thanks, JB.
Man, I'm telling you, it's great to hear your voice. You make our whole listening audience smile.
Oh, JB, you're so sweet.
Well,
Hey.
I'm just being honest.
Hey,
He's
back
so
off.
sweet.
Back off, man. She's taken. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Oh, man.
Hey, you know what, though, JB? You know what she said to me yesterday?
After you ate the 5th bag of that.
Well,
trail mix
now I
candy
did.
corn.
Of the candy, yeah.
I swear.
I keep looking, and I'm like, where is the candy corn? I'm like, Matt is eating it up.
All the weight I lost, I've gained 10 pounds in candy corn.
No, some people hate candy corn.
Yeah, a lot of people.
I love it.
They've let us know
I'll
that on the
pray for
radio,
them.
too.
Oh, you don't like it, JB?
No, I love it. I'll pray for those people. that
Yeah,
don't.
me too.
don't
I
like
love it.
It
No,
just leaves more for us.
she
right.
told me yesterday how excited she was that, raise that up a little bit,
Oh.
that Christmas, what is it?
Oh,
What's
yeah.
it called?
Oh, it's the countdown to Christmas movies on Hallmark.
The Hallmark Channel debuts its Countdown to
I think
Christmas
it's Friday.
line of movies.
Saturday. It's
Starting
Friday or Saturday.
Friday, this
Yeah.
Friday.
I have the app, and so it gives me alerts.
Yeah, I tell you what, you and my wife might be related.
Yeah.
Because she told me the very same thing
See?
Sunday.
Man, it's not just our wives, JB. It's all of them.
And look, in the middle of 2020 and all the Corona, we just need Hallmark. We just need it. It just makes you smile, makes you feel good.
Makes you escape for a while.
Yeah, it does. Makes you want to just decorate some cookies and.
What was it that I was walking through the room the other day, and she's watching a Hallmark movie, and I hear the lead character on the movie uttered something like this. It was like she goes,
what was it?
Somebody invited her or something.
Oh, where's the kettle corn?
Yes. Yes.
They're having
JB.
a picnic in the middle of a beautiful.
She and her man are having a picnic in the middle of like a Christmas tree farm.
No, this was autumn. This was a fall.
Okay, so it's fall thing.
Movie.
And she says to him, you didn't bring the kettle corn? Okay, listen. There was another one I walked through the room the other day, and this woman has been invited to something. She says, I can't. I have to go back and work on my pumpkin
pie recipe.
My pumpkin pie. I got to go work on my pumpkin pie recipe.
We realize it's all fluffy and good, and it's okay. Sometimes that's okay, Matt.
Yeah. It's like me if you gave me a channel that is dedicated 24 hours a day to showing me movies of how men catch fish, the biggest fish they've ever caught.
I was just about to finish that before you started. I was going to say, if it's all fishing, you would be good.
It'd be like if we had the Outdoor Channel, except it's dramas. It's fictional dramas and just movie after movie after movie about hunting and fishing.
And then a little plug on football. You'd want a little update on some sports, and then you'd watch a little bit more fishing. Yeah, you'd be great.
And then, late at night on the Hallmark, how they show Golden Girls.
Oh, yeah.
On the male version of this, they would show reruns of Home Improvement.
There you go. Or what's that, Coach? You really like that show, Coach.
That'd be another one.
You like that show.
That's right.
That's a good one.
Basically, what they have done is they have taken everything on HGTV.
HGTV?
And just molded it into a fictional drama channel. That's what the Hallmark Channel is.
Okay.
Everything on there is in a perfect world.
Yeah. Well, it just makes you feel good. What's wrong with that?
She cannot wait.
Not a thing.
Not a thing. It's fine. It's fine for a few minutes.
Hey, have you, Annie, have you heard the guy who calls in and does impressions on the show?
Yeah, I have.
Did you get to hear his Coach O impression?
Well, I think I didn't. You played it back for me.
I think I played
about
it back
making
for you.
gumbo or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
Well, Coach O gave me advice on how to kill the snake. It was after we had the snakes in the house.
Oh yeah.
He said if you're on a golf course, you see a snake, the best way to take care of it is just hit it in the head with a 9-iron.
And make some gumbo.
He said make a belt, make some gumbo.
That's great.
Well, we're lucky enough that AKA Coach O is on the.
He's back.
He's on the Davini phone right now and says he has a recipe for me. Coach, what's up? Are you there, Coach?
Yeah, I'm here, right here.
So, what's this about a recipe? What's this about a recipe?
Well, Joe Pesci and I came up with a new recipe with the andouille sausage, and it tastes pretty good.
The andouille sausage from Country Pleasing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What you do is, I gotta. It was hard for me because I usually like that stuff in gumbo, But what I did? Wait, you tell him, Joe.
All right. So here's what we did. All right. So what we did was we got that Country Pleasing sausage. We put it in a pan and we put it in there with some bell peppers, just some, some onions, and we sauteed them, and then we put them in there.
And then what we did was we got some of them in Hawaiian rolls, and we baked them in the oven for a while.
And then we put them on a bun with those.
Good duo.
And then that's how we did it.
All right, attaboy. All right, so O and Pesci.
So it was pretty good.
It was pretty good,
It was pretty good, Moss.
Forget about it.
Forget about it. All right, boys.
That's great.
All right, all the best. So eat it up, boys, and then tell me what you think of your recipe you came up with. Thanks for the call.
All right, you got it, boy.
Go Tigers. Hold that tiger. Hold those. Is it hold those tigers or hold that tiger? I think it's hold that tiger.
Hold that tiger.
No, it's hold them tiger.
Hold them tiger.
That's
it. I still have a hard time listening to Coach O sometimes as an Ole Miss girl.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
That was bad.
Bad
Those were
times.
bad times. Yeah.
He was coaching.
I'm happy for him though to be, you know.
He was coaching the first game that I ever attended with you.
He
the first
was?
football game I ever attended with you.
Oh, yeah.
Was an Ole Miss game that Ole Miss was playing Georgia.
Yeah, that's right.
It was an 8 o'clock kickoff.
That's when you fell asleep in the Grove.
Well, we were going, and I said, why don't we...
Matt, you did not.
Well, it was an 8 o'clock kickoff,
My gosh,
JB.
he did, JB.
It was an 8 o'clock kickoff. We're going out there to the Grove at like 3 o'clock. I said, why are we going so early? You know what she said? We're not early. We're late.
We were late. My whole family had been there for hours.
Oh, yeah,
Everybody had
got
been
there.
there.
At 10:30 that
My
morning.
dad is a big cook. I mean, we have great food and some sweet families we would always grove with. And
Well, I know where I'm going to go now when all this stuff resumes.
well,
I'm going to come to your
You'll
tent.
be sad to know that we're not doing it anymore. We stopped doing it about a year or 2 years ago.
Well, I'll just come to your house and you can cook. How about that?
Well, you really want my dad to cook for you.
Really?
He's a great cook.
I'm in.
He really
Just
he's
let
a
me know
really
when.
good cook. He
3
really,
o'clock for
he's
an
a
8
good-
o'clock game, and it kicks off as a good ball game. Ole Miss probably should have won the game. There was a bad call on a punt play
Yeah,
in that
that's
game
right.
that went Georgia's way, I remember. So
was
it kicks off at 8, JB. We're walking out of the stadium basically at midnight. I say, man, I'm so glad to go. I'm so ready to go home. She goes, we're not going home.
Yeah,
I went back to the tailgate.
Yeah.
So where are you going?
Back to the Grove.
Back to the Grove. I said, you're going back to the Grove.
And I said, no, you are.
I'm not going back to the Grove.
JB, what's happened?
Were y'all married at that time, or was this a date?
This was a date.
Ooh.
Matt, I thought we were married.
No, this was a date.
This was a date. Oh, it's just been so long. You know, it all runs
That
together.
was like 06 or 7. And see, we get married in 08.
Yeah, you're right. See, my sister and I have grown up groving. We've groved our
Right.
whole life. And so we both grow up and marry bulldogs who neither are going to go to the Grove or help my dad. And so we said, well, maybe we
This
don't.
ain't happening.
Just stop the tradition.
My poor
now.
dad is exhausted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fell
That
asleep.
is a lot of work.
It is a
I'm
lot of
telling you.
work. It is a lot
I
of
got
work.
friends that do it at both Ole Miss State and Southern,
And it's big money in the Grove. You know, my dad finally started paying, you know, there's a different
Tent set up
groups
and
that'll
all the
set it
thing.
up, and they do that in Starkville. It's pretty impressive, those
Oh, it
groups
is-
that do
look,
that now. It's a
It is impressive. You know, the effort that everybody
big
goes.
business.
Well, I
oh
just,
yes, it is.
well, it's a huge business.
Yeah, it is.
You know, and
And they're
like,
hurting right now too. I guarantee.
I guarantee
Oh, yeah,
you.
absolutely.
And like the junction at State, which has really become a thing, and it's, you know,
It's really neat.
it's just so, it's almost disheartening these last 2 home games.
to not have them there.
Yeah, I walk up and it's 3 hours to kickoff and there's nobody there. You know, obviously there's not a soul there. And normally, you know, you can't see 20 feet in front of
That's
your
right.
nose because there's a tent.
Those traditions matter.
And the
Do they
smells.
matter though? Like,
They matter.
Oh yeah.
They matter to those of us who love them, Matt.
man, I don't love it. I'm just
Meanwhile-
like, tell me what time kickoff is.
I know, jeez.
Love you, babe.
Love you.
The Jackson mailman said, HQ, you didn't get the Hallmark app just this year. Don't blame it on 2020. He's right.
He's right.
All right. Hour 2 coming up. Y'all stick around.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C-Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with autopay and paperless billing. Even without autopay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country Pleasin' sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan, put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasin' sausage, countrypleasin.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from it. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasin', please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, you know, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much, and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Hey, are you buying land or selling it? You need to let Matt Anderson with National Land Realty help you out. Matt Anderson Properties. Here's what Matt can do. If you're buying land, you can view the property without ever setting foot on it. They've got the 360-degree interactive drone touring. It's really cool. You got to check it out. And if you're selling property, Matt's going to get you consistent reports, comprehensive reports of who's looking, how many people looked at your listing. You need to let him help you. Matt Anderson Properties with National Land Realty. Call him, 601-408-5155. Hey, if you listen to the show, you know that the new third hour of the Matt Wyatt Show is brought to you by Overstreet Properties in Starkville. Here's what you need to know. If you're looking for a weekend home or condo, full-time residence, investment property, maybe just an apartment to lease, you got a student going to school at State, call Kane Overstreet at Overstreet Properties. In Starkville, it's 323-8618, or look them up online, overstreetproperties.com.
The Zone.
All right. Hour 2 has begun here on the show with you on this Tuesday. I'm Matt in the Farm Bureau studio. Farm Bureau, go! With the home team. One of the things we'll do here in the hour, we're going to take a look at one of the matchups in the SEC this week. Little head-to-head matchup preview. Look at the series history between Auburn and Ole Miss, who play each other this week. We'll do that over at Winsipedia.com. That's Winsipedia.com. Wins, the letter I, Pedia.com. Several people have brought this up on the live stream. Yes, the Dolphins are going to start Tua Tagovailoa at QB. The Tua era. Tua era. Beginning here very, very soon. We got 1 million, seems like, of your texts on the Country Pleasing Sausage text line to get to. We're going to do that coming up here. So Anthony, Russell, Johnny Reb, David, Jonathan, Denzel, Peanut Butter Falcon, Miko, Hogjow, Real Eric, Grumpy, Louvier, Duke, and Jason in Flagstaff, Arizona. Coming to all y'all, as Neil Price would say. All y'all.
Wow.
The homecoming queen is in the studio with me. Any questions for her or about the Hallmark Channel? Now, Champ, the miniature schnauzer, is trying to tear a hole in my recliner right now as we speak.
He's good. He's good.
Hey.
He's good.
Enough.
You said Jake's up there chewing a hole in your recliner?
Champ, the miniature schnauzer.
Oh, I thought you said the Champ.
He's really not miniature. He's 29 pounds.
He's about as miniature as I am.
Yeah.
Look, he jumps up in the chair and goes to pawing at it. I don't know. What's he trying to do?
He's just warming up his spot. Leave him alone.
Well, he's going to tear a hole in it.
Just move on with your...
Have you been eating in that chair, Matt? Because dogs tend to smell food, and if we've been in that food...
He really hasn't.
No. Now, there's a chance that in the cracks down on the floor underneath that chair, there might be a candy corn or two.
Could be.
Or a pretzel.
JB, this is my grandfather's old recliner. He has passed away, and this is his old recliner. And sometimes I swear I can smell.
Yeah, smell his cologne.
His cologne.
Aren't those the things that,
cool
that
water cologne.
The most in life?
Yeah. Just the smell. Yeah.
Yeah. That was you talk about a good advertisement for Franklin Furniture in Houston, Mississippi.
That's right, Hassel Franklin. We love him.
They made that right there in Houston, gave it to Pop, and it's still going strong. It leans now after I've been in it. It kind of leans to one side just a little.
He watched many an Ole Miss football game in that recliner.
Well, he watched state games too.
He did.
Yeah, Pop was a big Ole Miss guy, but he was always nice to and about state.
Absolutely.
He was never a big fan of Alabama, it seemed like.
No, he really wasn't.
He would sit in that chair and watch the games while Mom, Miss Smith, would not watch the games.
That's right.
She stands up and walks around the house the whole time.
She had to cook or just stay busy. JB, he was a cheerleader in the 40s at Ole Miss.
Oh, get out.
And met my grandmother there. Yeah, they're quite a little love story from Ole Miss. Matt did a really neat piece on them. You'll have to find that piece.
Yeah, I will. You're exactly right. I'm going to find that and then edit it up and kind of repurpose it for radio.
It was a really good one.
I think it would be good to do.
Go back to your text. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Okay, all right. Easy to get distracted here. I'm like Chris Brooks. Squirrel! That's Chris for you. Anthony from Tupelo says, I think Mullet got the Richardson kid in the past recruiting class, which is supposedly Cam Newton 2.0, yet to be seen. We're thinking about places in the SEC Garrett Schrader might go. Georgia seemed like that. I mean, if he were going to an SEC school, would it be Georgia, Tennessee, or Auburn?
I think he goes to Auburn when Hugh Freeze is hired as head coach to take Malzahn's place.
Can you imagine, though, if Chad Morris were out as the OC at Auburn after 1 year and Malzahn hired Freeze, who they're big buddies?
Oh, I think Malzahn's done.
Think so?
Yeah, I think Ole Miss beats them this weekend, and they fire him over the weekend.
Okay.
Really? That's interesting.
That is a bold prediction, JB.
Yes, that is.
Well,
on a Tuesday,
man, when you have these feelings, sometimes you just got to let them out.
Just let them out.
Yeah, you and Annabeth both. No filter. Just like open your mouth and whatever you're thinking goes, bah, and it's out there.
You never wonder what we're thinking.
That's right. That's why we like being around y'all so much.
There you go.
That's why I spent all my high school days in the principal's office.
Russell on the text line says North Carolina State, and South Carolina could all be options. And, I mean, that would be right. He's from Charlotte in that area, so that would definitely be, kind of going back home for him. Then we're talking about Garrett Schrader transferring or entering the transfer portal at Mississippi State. Johnny Reb says, what about the kid from Georgia to Ole Miss not getting cleared? Yeah, and the only thing about that, Johnny Reb, is there must be something else there. There just has to be something else there. because the SEC has said if it's just, intra-conference and there's nothing else involved, just go and all of a sudden you can play this year. Jonathan says, surprise, surprise, an SEC rule was changed because something potentially negatively affected Alabama. And that's basically what happened. When that kid was leaving Alabama to go to Georgia back in 2017 or 2018. And ultimately it did happen, but a rule was created. Peanut Butter Falcons, he was listening to Rooster's call about...
Peanut Butter what?
Falcon. Apparently it's a movie.
Oh.
I asked one time how he got that name, and apparently it's a movie. His name's Peanut Butter Falcon, and he was talking about Rooster. He said, this guy must have graduated from Ole Miss, the way he's being a diva about sausage. Yeah, he didn't want to eat leek sausage.
You talking about you?
No,
or?
a guy called in. Called in, and he said he had a problem with country pleasing sausage because he went in there one time and they didn't have sausage patties. And I said, well, what's the difference? Get what they have is sausage. He said, well, I got to have patties because I don't have any teeth.
I don't have a comment.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I think Rooster's got some teeth.
Come on.
I think he's crazy.
I mean, come on.
But I like it when he calls.
Wait, he's saying a patty is easier to eat?
That's what he's saying, is a sausage
like
patty.
Like a Jimmy Dean pure pork sausage.
But what I'm saying is it's not easier to eat.
It's not easier. The link is at least smaller.
Yeah. But I like patty sausage in sausage balls.
And here's the solution. Miko texted in and said, tell Rooster, get him a meat grinder. Exactly.
Y'all are just changing the world.
Yeah. One text at a time.
One text at a time about this situation.
All right, let's try the phone.
Oh, okay.
Davini Equipment phone line. More Bully hanging on. What's up, More Bully?
You always bet on the phone, brother.
Always bet on the phone. Okay.
Phone.
That's your way of saying that you had to sit through one too many readings of text messages before we came to your call. That's
Bless
what that
his
is.
Heart.
What's up,
Well,
More
the
Bully?
other thing is, my brother JB let me down, didn't tell me what was coming up, but I would have said, I'll call back. But anyway.
No problem.
Well,
Listen,
man, you
after
called.
JB
It's
said,
your dime.
I know. So, JB, my wife is actually making, and when I say a mess, I mean a mess, a big mess of sausage balls this weekend, and they're pretty addictive.
No doubt.
So,
I know where you live, and me and Stinson will be over there.
Should we meet next week?
Hey, More Bully.
No, I got a funeral
More Bully
next week
is
I
wanting
gotta
to
do.
push your meeting back a week so that you don't come in there and take out all of his sausage balls that the wife is making.
Well, they should
Well,
be
man,
getting
I got-
enough for the people that are coming for the garage sale.
Shut up. Hey, Matt, I got something for you too, man.
What's up?
I've been wanting to get off into some gumbo just to try. My wife and I we like cooking together.
Okay.
And I didn't want to start with a seafood gumbo because it's way too expensive and it tastes bad. I'm just lost the money. So I'm going to do a andouille and chicken gumbo.
Okay.
And you know the country pleasing andouille is sitting in the freezer already.
Yes, everybody raves about it, and I had one package of the andouille. And More Bully, I did not make anything with it. I cut it up, threw it in a frying pan, and ate it in the mornings like at breakfast. And I know you're not supposed to, but I did.
He loved it.
Okay, but everybody raves about Country Pleasing's andouille for their gumbo stuff.
Well, you're just a rule breaker, man.
Yeah, rules are for sheep, man. I'm not a sheep.
Hey, you better
look in all the
JB,
bad
you
ways.
Need to send him that devotion.
Oh, he gets it.
I get it.
Okay.
And I don't break rules in bad ways. I just ask questions. I don't just go along with what everybody says.
I know.
I want to experience
You
stuff
call
myself.
audible.
Audible.
Well, it's
I like
not
it.
that. It's just, and it's not that I don't have a problem with authority. It's just that sometimes I feel I ought to question it.
Just
if somebody tells
challenge it.
me,
Just challenge it. Yeah.
Annabeth, if somebody tells me,
Yeah.
Matt, that's andouille sausage. Matt, you've never had it before, but you can only use it in gumbo. No. Who made that rule?
That's why Matt wears white pants after Labor Day.
I was just about to say seersucker. I was going to say seersucker. You took the words right out of my mouth, JB. Seersucker.
Now, let's change this. Let's change this conversation just a little, okay?
Okay, what you got?
If the homecoming queen says, Matt, here's this, and here's how you need to do it, and that's it.
Yeah.
Do you challenge that?
Not while she's here.
Not if he's smart.
That's a great answer. That's a great answer.
I would never challenge her authority right to her face.
Yeah.
Good answer, Matt.
Yeah. Well, I totally understand that. So.
Yeah.
But man, hey, I'm gonna end with this. Did you call Chuck or not?
I didn't call him. I think
Okay.
I may have his number. I didn't call him though. I need to.
Okay. Well, if you need his number, tell JB.
Okay.
If JB doesn't have it, I got it.
Okay. I got to get in the car and drive a little bit this afternoon, so I may I'll see if I have the number. If I do, I'll call him. If I don't, I'll get it from JB and give him a call this afternoon.
Are you aimlessly driving, or you got a purpose?
Yeah, I'm just.
He's got a speaking engagement.
Yeah, I got a speaking engagement. I'm going to go tonight and then join some fine people in Brandon, Mississippi, and we're going to talk about Jesus.
Oh, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm. It sure is.
And just start your speech out with "Eat Dirt, Pearl."
Eat dirt, Pearl. Have them tell you what.
Oh, that's a big rival.
Big rivalry.
Big rivalry.
Appreciate it, more bully.
Well,
Thanks for the
safe
call.
travels, man.
All right, thank you, man.
The Pelahatchie while you do.
Okay, thanks for the call. I got the full-on Brandon Pearl experience that year. One of those years we were doing the C Spire Bright Light series of high school games.
Yeah, you did that.
Which, by the way, it was a great 4 or 5 year run of those.
Was.
C Spire does not even come within 10 feet of anything unless they do it all out.
Yeah, it was great.
Like first class all out. I'm talking about bringing in like Fox. The games were broadcast on Fox Sports South.
They were great.
You know,
those were fun.
They were fun. And we had Brandon at Pearl.
Yeah,
one
that
of
was
the
a
games.
big game.
Standing room only. It was Eat Dirt Pearl and all this. And they brought in a video board.
Yeah.
And we're showing replays. And the fans at the stadium at Pearl watching the replays of every play. Like, you don't get that in high school.
No.
And there was this huge play where the Brandon receiver caught this pass. Huge pass. Going to give him a chance to win. And they marked him down. And when they showed the replay on the video board after the play, everybody in the stadium could see that his foot came down about a foot out of bounds. No. He was so far out of bounds. The official, those Pearl fans went him
crazy.
Oh. They never relented on that poor official the whole game. All because we saw it on the video.
Thanks to the video board.
I thought I've never felt more sorry for
the guy.
Poor official.
Well, he got it wrong.
He got it bad wrong.
I would have been yelling too.
And right in front of the home side as well.
Gosh.
I don't remember who won the game. It seems like Pearl might have actually won the game.
Are those your text messages on that screen right
No,
there?
okay, so this is the call screen over here.
Oh, okay.
See, and I get those from JB.
Okay.
And then in different, like right now, he sent me a video of something I was going to look at. But I wanted to read this. Hog Jowl is one of our favorite texters, Annie, and he is a big Arkansas fan, just like our neighbors.
Yeah. I have some other friends here in Tupelo who are big Arkansas fans.
I didn't say who, but I told the story of the Arkansas.
Yeah, you better not say who. He'll kill you.
The jacket he was wearing.
His wife will kill me.
Wearing an Arkansas blazer that had little razorbacks
This is
all
season
over.
to wear an Arkansas blazer. I might wear an Arkansas blazer.
And you saw our neighbor. She was out walking in
That'd
the
be
street.
the prettiest Arkansas blazer I'd ever seen.
I love JP.
Tell you what, man. I could take a few pointers from him.
Yeah, you could.
He gets giggles out of you and everything. All right, Hogjowl says, I think Rooster is acting like a pullet. I know what a pullet is.
Is that a chicken?
Yes. Atta girl!
I know a few things.
No comparison between Johnsonville and Country Pleasing, and he's right about that.
Yeah.
As far as teeth are concerned, he says permanent inserts might be considered.
Gosh, I mean, the details of this situation with his teeth and the sausage, I mean, that's a lot to share.
He offered it up.
It's a lot to share. That's TMI.
Can't eat certain things. He doesn't have teeth.
Oh, bless his heart.
My granddad had the dentures.
Yeah, yeah.
And I used to love it when every now and then he would just on purpose stick those dentures out. They'd come halfway out of his mouth and he'd pop them back in, you know. I thought it was the coolest thing. Grumpy says, Matt, hail to the queen. I thought Rooster sounded like Ponto. That is the same guy. He's dual personality on here.
I'm sorry? He calls in as two different people?
He always has called in as Ponto.
Is that against the rules?
Well,
no.
Conflict of interest here?
No, not at all, because as long as you're a schizophrenic, you're never alone.
That's good.
Again, I remind you, What About Bob, the movie? Roses are red, violets are blue. I'm a schizophrenic, and so am I.
Yeah, I don't know that movie.
It's a great one.
I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna pass on that.
Danny on the live stream says, if you haven't seen Peanut Butter Falcon, you missed it on a fantastic movie.
Yeah, I've never even heard of it.
The Taylor Bradley Show on the live stream says, LOL, I was filled with joy when the protester at the state game was tackled by a state trooper. He used a different word.
Well, you said that was the best play of the game. And when you showed me that video, I mean, those Texas A&M players were pumped.
They were like, whoa, he got him.
That was fantastic.
Wild.
It was.
The trooper who ran him down ran the Boston Marathon last year.
Oh, my gosh.
Don't run from him. Just give up.
Just lay down, girl.
And here's the thing. If you're going to run from the patrolman,
at least be a runner. At least be a runner.
She's like, oh, I'm sort of running. Boom.
It was great.
The other one was smart. She was like, okay, you got me.
Yeah,
you got me. Hold on. I'll sit down.
Just kind of melted down like the Wicked Witch. Like
Here, let me put my hands back here for you. The other one, boom. Yeah, she sort of melted into the ground.
It just melt.
The Phoenix on the Country Pleasing Texas. Hey, Matt, I've never met the homecoming queen, but she already makes you better in this segment.
Aw. The Phoenix?
The Phoenix. Yeah.
That's it. That's interesting.
Walton says, nice. Just jumping on for hour 2, gorgeous morning in the woods. And he sent us a picture. He's bow hunting. He's in a tree stand. Walton, turn the speakers up. It won't bother him. Let's go ahead and...
Do you bow hunt? I've never known you to bow hunt.
Oh, no, I haven't. In many, 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 many years. Probably since before I met you.
Yeah.
I don't have time.
Yeah, you don't have time.
This says, somebody texted in and said, you can't put link sausage on a biscuit. Nothing has ever been further from the truth.
We do it at Live Oaks all the time with Country Pleasing Regular.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Exactly. With a little gravy on there, too.
Caleb is asking on the live stream. He says he happened to be listening on the radio when the tackle by the patrolman happened. He said, I was hyped. And then he wants to know if we have the clip. Caleb, if you could help me remember what time in the game that was, I'll be able to go back and find the clip of Neil Price and me and when all this happened during the ball game. Bulldog Barney says that Peanut Butter Falcon is a great movie about a kid with Down syndrome.
Never heard of this. I have to look this up. It sounds good.
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
How do I pronounce?
Shia LaBeouf, the guy from all the Transformers movies.
I wouldn't know. I haven't
seen those either.
Shia LaBeouf. Okay, got it. This is On Dewey, like Han Solo without the H. Got it. Flowtown Ghost had shrimp and grits with from Cross Country Grocery in Brandon. Used andouille sausage from Country Pleasing, the best that I've had in a while. Yeah, I mean, we just get constant.
I'm telling
thumbs up on it.
A lot of love for Country Pleasing.
Mm-hmm. Bates says, I love hearing the Queen on the radio. Does she love hearing the sonic boom? If so, crank it up.
I do love the sonic boom.
We'll play it for you next.
I do love it.
They're great.
Well, I'm from down that area.
Yeah, she's from Vicksburg. When you whisper like that, I'm afraid people can't hear you.
Oh, they can't hear me?
Listen, I've always told Annabeth that, she has a voice for radio. She could get 1 million listeners on a podcast if you hosted a podcast about the Hallmark Channel.
A voice for radio? What are you trying to say about my face?
No, I didn't say face for radio. I said voice for radio.
I used to do the news with you.
I know. That's the point. You have a voice that is good on the radio.
Oh.
I don't really have that.
You do.
No.
Yes, you do.
You do have a good voice.
Well, but that's not why I'm doing it, you know.
You love it.
But I'm saying, the Lord kind of blessed you with that radio voice.
Oh, okay.
Some people, Annabeth, aren't as lucky as you to get looks and a good voice.
Oh, JB.
Some people just.
I'm going to have to mail JB a bag of candy corn.
That's what we've been getting at this whole time. The man wants something free.
He wants some candy corn.
By the way, JB, those boiled peanuts you gave me are some of the best I've ever had.
Yeah, my buddy Bob did those, man. It's I got a bag too, and I just can't tell you.
We used to eat boiled peanuts while we watched high school football on Friday nights in Vicksburg.
Oh,
At Warren Central, my dad would always bring boiled peanuts. It makes me think of high school football.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, man.
Mm-hmm.
They were so good. Bulldog Barney, you're right. I did miss this. Listen to what he said. Living in Lower Alabama for 7 years. I know all about it. He says, all I hear and see is Conecuh. That's the big one in Alabama.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, Conecuh. These folks don't know nothing about sausage until they've eaten country pleasing sausage, stuffed pork chops, jalapeno cheese, green onion, and garlic. Holy cow, mighty fine, he says, Hail State. And you're right about that. The flavors that they have. It is just better. There's no question.
It is better.
No question about it. All right, listen, here in hour number 2. Now, I promise you this, coming up at the end of the hour, I do want to take a look at the Auburn-Ole Miss all-time series. We're going to do that in a head-to-head matchup preview from Winsipedia.com. Winsipedia.com.
So y'all are saying the Auburn coach will be fired.
That's what he's saying.
Gus.
Yeah, I said that. I think
Gus.
he will be. I think Ole Miss wins big this weekend. Malzahn loses his job, and Freeze is hired in December.
Where's the game?
Freeze?
Is it Oxford or Auburn?
It's at Oxford.
Okay, so it's a home game for Ole Miss. And JB, I mean, I don't see any kind of way. I know that Arkansas just stymied Ole Miss's offense, but that was because of the turnovers. I don't see any kind of way that Auburn can outscore Ole Miss in the game. I agree with you. I think Ole Miss wins.
The lane train.
Yep.
It took a little dip last week.
It took a little, I'm afraid we
they
crashed.
ran off the edge of that cliff.
Ran off the edge, all right.
They got a rebuilt in
Crash
Petticoat
and
Junction
burn.
now.
Yeah, it's a steam engine.
Well, it's the little engine that could.
There you go.
I think I can.
That's it. I think I can. All right. Homecoming Queen out. We'll finish up next. Stick around.
Let nothing stand between you and the
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country Pleasing sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan. Put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasing sausage, countrypleasing.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from them. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please.
a lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much, and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck.
Here's Banana Pudding. It's the Matt Wyatt Show. Live in the studio. Online at thezone1059.com and on your radio at ESPN 105.9. The Zone.
All right, back with you here. A little ways to go with you. We'll finish it up after the second hour today. I got to get on the road. Back to normal, full 3-hour show tomorrow. So we got about a half hour left with you here today. I'm Matt in the Farm Bureau studio. I was realizing during the break there, for folks who watch the live stream and tune into the show that way, I got to mix up the commercials and kind of readjust it again, because the way the timing is working out is a couple of these commercial breaks we go to, and it gets over to my man Jonathan McMillan at Davini Equipment in Madison, and he's like showing the mowers, and he's on camera, and he's showing you this mower and talking about it, and then mid-sentence it just cuts him off and we're back to the show. And I feel bad about that, so I got to time it up a little better. Jonathan, I promise we'll take another swing at it here soon. All right, y'all, text me, call me, all that. The Davini Equipment phone line, Davini Equipment Madison and in Jackson, 995-1059, 601-995-1059. Gary is hanging on, been patient, and I appreciate that, Gary. What's up?
Hey, what's going on, Matt? You doing all right?
Yeah, doing fine. Thank you.
Man, that's good. I'm an alum. I was in school when you were playing. You guys, and I watched you guys a lot, man. I really enjoyed it. Got two things. Got a comment and a question.
Okay.
So just hang with me for just a minute.
All right.
I was talking to my nephew. He lives out in Arizona. Played offensive lineman. Played at junior college, and he played at University of North. UNA, I think, Northern Arizona.
Yeah. Okay.
He long snapped and he played guard. I was asking him about the splits, right? Mm-hmm. And this is how he explained it to me. He said, just imagine most of the guys are road graders, like you said on Bo show yesterday morning. Mm-hmm. And he said, you're asking those guys to go, 2.5, 3 yards, 3 feet apiece, and they're doing that against the elite defensive linemen and the elite linebackers in all of college football. And he said that is hard to teach. He also made the same point that you made about it's not a ton of high schools that teach that fly blocking. It's just not. And he was like, man, I'm scared that a lot of the offensive linemen will transfer out. Again, I like Lee. I wasn't over the top with the hire because you hired a guy for a system that versus that coached the players that he had. So that really made sense when you came on board and you talked about that hey, you're asking these guys to do this against the elite of the elite. So and that when he told me that that kind of opened my eyes. I was like, wow, no wonder they're having so many problems. He was like, it's not they're getting beat, physically. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. My other question is, I was listening to Bo this morning, and he had on Mike Detillier, and I know you work for the university, and you can't, and I know your position, but he talked about Billy Napier. And this is not verbatim, but it's basically what he said. He just raved about him, how he was a great offensive mind, a recruiter, a tough guy, how he ran kind of what Dan Mullen ran, with spread, but he also threw the ball. He's just going on and on and on about him. Mm-hmm. And how did we miss him, Matt? It just seems like he was the better fit.
Yeah.
It's just how and again, I'm not trying to put you in a
No. I'll tell you what I know, Garrett. I never personally had a time where somebody directly involved with the hire, like John Cohen, I never had a time once where one of those guys confirmed to me, just out loud said it, we're trying to hire Billy Napier, okay? But there was so much smoke, and not just rumor and innuendo, but just so much smoke about dealings between his side and the state side. I talked to one media person who is very plugged into following all that stuff. When it happens, they always report on it. And he called me, I think was trying to dig for some info. I told him I didn't have a lot of info, and he kind of confirmed to me that there was definitely conversations going on between, State and Napier. But he had a sense for Napier, this guy that I talked to in the media, he had a sense for Napier. And the way he worded it to me was that it wasn't a matter of money or, which job or whatever, that he felt like that it was too soon for him to leave Lafayette where he was at that time, that he felt like it needed about another year or two, and then he would see what jobs were available and go take the best one he could get at that time. Felt like they were going to win and maybe do some things. And I'm like, well, yeah, but normally coaches, if that $4 or $5 million opportunity is sitting in their lap right now, they'll take it. This media person said to me, look, I've covered him a long time. He's not that way. He's just different. He's from a coaching family. He said his parent or his dad was a coach. He just looks at things a little different. He said, for instance, once they started bowl prep, he told people, I'm not talking to anybody about a job until our bowl game's over with, period. I don't want any distractions. They're like, well, that's crazy. This is the time of year. He's like, I don't care. They said, he said he's different. So I tell you all that to say, I think legitimately there was, a push to see if they could get this guy at the table to maybe offer him the job. Whether or not it ever got to the point of offer and turn it down, I don't know. But I think that there was definite interest there for sure. Now, is he a good coach? Yes, no question about it.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that, man. And again, just by what I've heard people talk about him and what he do and how he coached and him being a really good coach. I'm not like a lot of other fans. I like John Cohen. But if that's the case, I just me. I'm not a leech basher. I'm not a leech basher. But I'm not. I don't. Me personally, I don't really believe it's going to work. I'm just being straight up honest. I think if I'm Cohen, I think I'd have waited and hired him because it just seems like that's the better fit. And I've always said with Mississippi State or Ole Miss or South Carolina, jobs like that, it's about the fit. The fit, bringing somebody in that fits into the community. I'm just honest. I just don't think at least doesn't look like he doesn't look the part. It just and again, I'm gonna be honest again. If I had a kid that was a recruit, I probably wouldn't talk to him. I'm just honest. That's just me being honest. So again, man, I appreciate you taking my call and appreciate you giving me that answer. And I enjoy the show. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks, Gary. Appreciate you listening. Thanks for the questions and the conversation. Call me anytime. Next up on the Davini Equipment phone line, Gator Greg. 2 days in a row. Greg, what's up?
Well, first off, Mr. Wyatt, you probably had to be happy with your Chiefs, at least your defense. Yeah. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I guess the threat of Le'Veon Bell coming in. The Chiefs really ran the football. That's another element that people forget in that Super Bowl run with Damian Williams, the ability to run the football. Really impressed with Kansas City yesterday running the football.
Yeah, well, and you're right. Okay, so it's just Andy Reid being Andy Reid, Greg. They lose a game, you come back the next week, and no hesitation on Andy Reid's part to say, okay, well, people are thinking they're going to figure this out and they're going to do this to us in the past game and maybe we're in a little bit of a funk. We're just going to go out here and run the ball and go figure out a way to win a game running the ball and do it in a low-scoring fashion compared to some of the other games. I'm telling you, he's just a great coach. He knows how to pull the strings and when to pull them.
Yeah, and then the interesting news about Mr. Schrader, Garrett Schrader, your quarterback there at Mississippi State in the transfer portal. Mm-hmm. I hope he considers the Gators. Trask, you kind of see what Mullen's done with him, and I would have not predicted that. Of course, Florida has some nice little scheme, and I think he fits that scheme with an athletic quarterback who can learn to throw the football, a.k.a. Dak Prescott, Alex Smith. But, and I know I'll be lost because I know the state people like Schrader. I liked how he played that run he had last year, or a couple of years ago. What was that against, I don't know if that was A&M or one of those teams we did the little helicopter deal.
Yeah, that was
Elway and Matt Wyatt running the Egg Bowl. That was Matt Wyatt against Auburn when he fit that touchdown in there to win that game. He runs like that. Mr. Wyatt, you have a great day. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it, Greg. Thanks for the call. Yeah, I never ran quite like that, even if I wanted to. But he that was against Kansas State, I believe. And it was going to be it was a must play, a fourth down play, had to have it. Come up short by a foot because you helicoptered 1 foot this way as opposed to 1 foot that way. So put the Gators on the list. Gators fans interested in Garrett Schrader. Everybody loves what they don't have. There's a transfer quarterback there. Go get him. I'm just saying that Mullen has no history of going after transfer QBs. And it just seems like there have been times where if he was interested in that kind of thing, he would have done it. But he just never has, for whatever reason. Never has gone after the transfer. And again, it's total speculative. We are totally speculating. We have no idea if he knows where he wants to go, if he's just open to anybody, come recruit me. I don't know. But if Garrett Schrader were to look inside the SEC, there's a couple of East schools that are fits. And I think Georgia and Tennessee are it. I'm just saying. Y'all may feel otherwise. All right. Stick around.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country Pleasing Sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo, where I live, on grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan, put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasing Sausage, countrypleasing.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from them. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wyatt stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much, and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Hey, are you buying land or selling it? You need to let Matt Anderson with National Land Realty help you out. Matt Anderson Properties. Here's what Matt can do. If you're buying land, you can view the property without ever setting foot on it. They've got the 360-degree interactive drone touring.
Quarterback really playing better than him. And he's right here, right now, online at thezone1059.com and on your radio at ESPN 105.9 The Zone.
And going back to Gary's call, he's got a family member who played football at a high level in college, played on the offensive line. And yeah, I mean, apparently he echoed some things in their conversation that I've echoed about, troubles on the Mississippi State offensive line right now. They've had, when did they start practice? Was it late August? They started practice. And then
around the middle of August, they started doing, prep work, preseason, training, that kind of stuff. Yeah. And I think the 20th, 22nd, something like that is when they started.
Right. So, and, they're pretty good right out of the gates. That first game, they were not bad at all. You had Island at guard and some new stuff, and then maybe people started attacking you a little bit. And so, it's a combination. I feel like it's a combination of really 2 to 3 things. One is lack of experience in doing what they're doing, which is different from any offensive line stuff that, they've done anywhere else, obviously. And you don't find a lot of high schools, if any, frankly, who, have their offensive linemen doing that slide protection just over and over and over and over and over, standing back catching people. That was a comment on one of the YouTube videos I posted, one of the recent film study videos, and I thought it was a good observation by a commenter who said, as an offensive lineman, it's hard to stand there all day and drop back and catch people, meaning I'm going backwards and boom, we meet and now I catch you and I keep you out, as opposed to going forward and hitting somebody. And I will admit, look, my dad, we're talking about it, Dad has great observations, played football, coached it. And he said, at one point in our conversation, he said, they ought to run some things where they just tell the offensive lineman, hey, after the ball is out of the quarterback's hands, just run downfield and find somebody to hit. Run down there and just tattoo somebody every now and then. Well, Coach, what if we get a late hit? Well, maybe you get one, but at least get it out of your system, right? Because it's a totally different approach to football than what they are used to. So experience, number one, is an issue with the offensive line right now. I think number two is They are playing and have a lot at State. They have played a lot in front of a quarterback who began to hold the ball a little more and a little more. Now, that's no excuse for some of the things that have happened where you have a jailbreak or a missed assignment and somebody comes free. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying, just for instance, go and look at when Will Rogers got into the ball game the other day for State. They sacked Will Rogers one time and maybe pressured him one time. And he played a good bit towards the end of the ball game when the game was in the balance a couple times. And you go, well, yeah, they didn't get to him as much. Well, that's right. They didn't get to him as much as they did KJ, because early on when he was in there, they pressured him, but before they could get him to the ground, he unloaded it incomplete at the feet of a receiver on second down, line back up, play third down without losing any yardage. That's valuing the ball to get it out harmlessly and protect the yardage. And then also the timing in the pass game, the ball was coming out just a couple times, a half second earlier. Just a little bit earlier, a little bit more on time, which protects you and kind of helps your offensive line. And so that's part of it too. So it's kind of a combination of those things. But the overall idea, Gary, yeah, sure, after what you've seen the last few weeks, there are a lot of people like yourself who just are convinced this isn't going to work in the SEC. And here are your examples in these last 3 weeks. It's just not going to work, that kind of thing. What I would say is it sure does not look like it's going to work right now. And maybe it takes a while to get the experience and have people grow up. So instead of a freshman quarterback, freshman running backs, freshman and sophomore receivers, sophomore left tackle, instead of all that, it takes 2 or 3 years to where all those guys are now juniors and seniors, and they can do it better and more consistently. Maybe you do have to find people to recruit that can do it a little more seamlessly with what they did in high school. I don't know all that, but I do know that you just, after a long stint of Mullen, you just had a coach for 2 years and let him go. You went from, at the end of the 2017 season, you went a staff change because he left, and basically a little bit of a philosophy change in everything. Culture change, offense change, workout change. It didn't work. It was the wrong kind of culture change. But you switch all that. And now, for the third time in 3 years, is that right? Sorry. The second time in 3 years, the third system in 4 years, you change it again, and it's another wholesale change, another philosophy change. In the strength and conditioning category and toughness, it's back to kind of what it was before. But on offense, in terms of, it couldn't be more different than anything any of them have ever done. So all this change and turnover, and you simply are in a position where there is no such thing as a quick trigger on this coach and this staff. That's just the truth of it. You're settling in for the long haul, however it works out. For you to make a quick decision now on like a Leach or making a change, it'd have to be just a complete and utter just bottom out, which hasn't happened, and I don't think it's going to happen. So you're in it for the long haul. So what is this? All right. So you're going to play a 10-game season this year. You're not winning the league this year. And so it's about incremental improvement, some positivity, getting a little momentum, win a couple more games you're supposed to, something. That's what it's about this year, period. That's kind of how bad the offense has been the last 3 weeks, but they may up and surprise you this week. We'll see with a new quarterback, or next week if that happens. But you're playing Alabama, okay? Again, incremental improvement. Let's see if we see what we see. And then next year, I'm telling you, you may settle in for the long haul, and it may be 2-3 years into this thing before that offense really gels and starts to work in this league. It might. I don't have the answers, but it might be what it is. Okay, but in my opinion, everybody better be just ready to settle in on that. That's kind of what I think. Bulldog Barney says, I haven't heard much about Hill's suspension. Is he kept quiet for a reason, or you just haven't heard anything, period? Oh, well, yeah, this is what I I think I said this yesterday, Bulldog Barney. It's some sort of suspension. I don't know if it's if it's a behavioral suspension in that he did something, or if it's a behavioral suspension in that he didn't do something, right? Whether it's, you miss a meeting, you're late for a meeting, you didn't go to a workout or something, or if it's you said something you weren't supposed to, or you did something. I don't know any details on that, but it's definitely some sort of suspension unrelated to on the field stuff. That's what that was with Hill. Whether it's a one game or going forward, I don't know. That I don't know. Nobody's told me that. But it's not an injury deal, and it was not a COVID deal. That was strictly after the Kentucky game, there was this come to Jesus meeting, not meeting, but this come to Jesus atmosphere kind of laid on the team. Hey, all right, here's what we're going to do. The week of practice before A&M, after Kentucky, we're opening up every position wide open. There are no solidified starters on this offense. Some of y'all will win the job this week. Some of you won't. That sort of thing. Ramping up the competition, we have to get better. And, if anybody does not want to participate in that, you don't have to. And I know that happened that week, and something during that week led them to not dress out Kylan Hill for the ball game. And it's my understanding, not injury related and not sickness related. So there you go. In that way, it's like a lot of other suspensions will get, like a breaking of team rules, and then we'll find out if it's a week or 2 weeks or whatever. Bulldog Barney said, just hear rumors that he popped off at Leach. Whenever, I'll tell you this, Bulldog Barney, like I'm really hesitant to jump in on this rumor, that rumor, like if it specifies anything, because I feel like in the position I'm in, if there were some specifics out there that were pretty close to being true, they'd get around to me. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. And that's, so that kind of stuff. What I think is when you start losing, I've fallen in that trap in years past. You start losing or get on a little negative streak, man, it's amazing the rumors that can pop up and start to circulate, and you'll even start to hear them from the right kind of folks and think it's true, and it turns out it ain't true. All kinds of negative stuff starts to pop up when you hit a little losing stretch, and I think we just all have to remember that.
Now, I'm not one to go around spreading rumors.
I don't mean to be telling tales out of school.
I swear that's what they said.
As Delmar.
Delmar?
That's it, Delmar.
Not see the treasure.
What are we going to do?
He turned him into a toad.
They sitting around a campfire, and Delmar went, jacking up banks. Who doggies? All right, JB. That'll be it for today's show. We'll see
you be
tomorrow.
safe traveling. Those folks in Brandon in for a treat tonight.
I hope
praying
so.
for you, pal.
I'm looking forward. Thank you, JB. All right. Y'all have a good one. See y'all tomorrow. Same time, same place. See you then.